Hi guys, Ralph here. Right, upgrade time again. This time it's the Mega Drive, the Mark 1 Mega Drive. Been to consolesunlimited.com again. Got a switchless region and in-game reset mod kit. Okay, was actually £14, which isn't too bad, and what you get from it is this little bag. Not much, I know, but it's more than enough for what we need. And there are region mods that you can do with these, which I think I've seen other people do with there's 3 jumpers on here. I think there are 3 parts that you can solder a switch to, which they'll give you the 50 to 60 hertz. I'm not sure this is to do with that. It might be. So look what it says on here. Kit includes that. Right, so this is the LED board. This will replace what, because behind you just one LED and that's it. This will replace with a 3-colour LED to solder in place at the right part. Yes, and that'd be good. This is the chip. Lots of parts here need soldering to different parts of the board in here. Right. Now, features on this. Region free. Completely switchless, change regions or reset using the control panel. Okay, but that's the reset, yes. 50 to 60 hertz video rates section for full speed, that's good. English Japanese language selection, well, depending on the game, that's quite good. So if I change Japanese words into English, that helps me no end. Pads for DFO and Mega CD multi-BIOS. Works with both active high and active low reset. That means virtually nothing to me. Well, apart from some bits do, but the pads for the DFO, don't know. I know the Mega CD is the, underneath. Yeah, I'd love to have one, but unfortunately we don't have one at all. So, we're running at this blind. But if you want to go on to consolesunleashed.com, find the Mega Drive switchless region and in-game reset mod kit. You can follow along with the pictures as I'm going along. I'll probably post in the description below what there is to do. So I'm guessing, right, seeing as there's no extra cables, there are 2 very small connectors. They can't go together like that, can they? They must do then. Okay. So this looks like it will stick to the board. There's nothing else underneath apart from that. I've got an R. Let me zoom you in a little bit before we get anywhere on this. Is that an RO and R1 at the bottom? C9, C6, then we've got V10, LAN, ground, 5 volts, CO1, CO2, CPU, or is that CD1? This is really small for me. I'm not quite sure if these 2 here are also J1s. So there's a little bit of soldering on here anyway. I'm assuming it'll be self-explanatory when I get into doing the mod for this. Model 1 1.1, which will obviously stick to the underside of the background here with the LED through, which is obviously you get this with it already. We'll go one way or the other, not entirely sure which way it will go. Solder in, whether or not it needs to be flush, whether it needs to be further out, I don't know. We'll work on that when we get round to it, when it actually probably gets inside the Mega Drive. Right. So what I need to do to start with, I'm guessing that is all it is then. There's no cutting, no nothing, no faffing around too much, no weird cables in different places. It'll be a case of this will be on the underside of this. You'll open this up and then you can disconnect, get more added faffing aroundness inside. So we need to start with, we need a pot. Put my goodies in. That doesn't want to go in. Get rid of the bag. Right, so we have the 6 screws on the bottom. I'm going to remove that just for the time being. No, it says do not remove. I don't want to remove it because that might fall off anyway. If it doesn't, then so be it. So 6 screws, you say. That looks good to me. Now, if anybody's wondering, because the last videos I was doing, I've been using a Tech Life screwdriver, and there was a video I did a while ago for a different screwdriver. Don't worry, that's still on the shelf. I've not eBayed it, I've not done anything else with it. That will be there as a spare when this goes. The company who actually supplied that, he looks over, which is Fantic, actually own Tech Life. So they're quite happy with me using this instead of their other one. So that's fine. Because I was a little worried, thinking, they've given me a screwdriver to advertise, which is great, really nice of them. And I'm not actually using it, which would have been a bit weird. So now I need, get rid of that. I need a magnet because that's stuck in there. Put a magnet on the side of the screwdriver, which should give me a little purchase to get that out. 5 and 6, the short one. I must remember that that short one goes there, or do I? It looks quite deep in there. I mean, that screw went in the wrong place then. So right, turn it over. As before, opens up like that. Right. Very shiny. So the LED comes over here. It's actually now just come off of the board. So any modding that I did before, pre-hand before with that, is now cocked up. But that's fine. It gets that completely separate from here. I think I need to, because all we have to do on this with the LED going through is, it doesn't solder in, it just slides inside, which is a bit of a meh. But that's fine, that's how they did it back then. Pushing both pins there because I need to remove this bezel. There are 2 versions out there, one with the bezel already painted in white and one where the plastic comes out like that. So I have this one. My LED that I upgraded last time because I didn't have a clear one because the other one had broken is stuck in there. We're not going to need this no more. So out, done, sorted. The new LED will go into there anyway, but I think part of the mod you need to cut away the plastic inside here, so the full 3-pinned, there's no 2 holes in there, 3-pinned LED will fit through there. But we are jumping forward a little bit there. This is what I'm trying to arrange his tools. Right, I need to go further in here. Keep the heat sink in. I just want that out of the way. We have lots of screws around the edge here. The magnet just seemed to be doing wonders. Let's cut forward, shall we, to when I've actually got down to the board, because it's kind of just intuitive screw, follow it all around, pulling out screws like one there, a few up here, get to the motherboard. That should also be screwed onto the base as well. Don't think that comes off anyway, so it should be easy enough to do anyway. So let me jump forward to this beam, back down to the motherboard, and we should be get ready to start. Now we're down to the circuit board. A few extra screws came out, that's fine, not a problem. I'm going to leave, for the time being, I'm going to leave that heat sink on there. I'm not entirely sure whether or not there are things on here that that'll be in the way for, but I don't really think it will be. Try and look on the screen now for what's, there's a chip there for the CPU. Yeah, that should hopefully be out of the way. Now this is a PAL one, this is a version 5. You can see down here does actually show you IC BD M5 PAL. So it's a version 5 PAL, which does coincide quite well with one of the photos on here, which is good. So trying to see the difference between a version 4 PAL and a version 5, and I can't really see any differences. I think version, you haven't got these 2 square chips on a version 4. You've got this one here, but this one, there's a smaller, longer chip, There's a smaller rectangular but very similar with all the pins on the side chip here, and one down there as well. Whereas the version 5's got two big ones here, these two. So the Zilog, yes, chip over here. There's one chip underneath here as well, and the big CPU up here. So, few things we need to. So it's definitely a 5 or 6. We've got these jumper cables already been put on there, probably patch cables, upgrades or whatever, when it's been out to the factory. So yeah, problems with version 4, no problem with version 5, probably most things, to be honest. There's always a patch cable on most things. So we're going to leave those in place, hopefully, for the time being. Now, what I need is to know where to put this, to be honest. It looks like for the version 5 and 6, I put it right there. So what I do to start with is peel the pad off of the back. And that can actually go. I don't want to hold the cable in, but if that kind of goes there, that looks about right to where. Oh, hold on a minute. Ah, nearly did it wrong. According to this, yeah, it's that way around. Right. So, this is just copying exactly what the instructions are on here. So I'm going to avoid that resistor and get around it, no problem. Stick in place, it's going there. Okay. That cable just sits underneath there nicely. Bit of pressure, hold it in place, done. So we have the start of the mod. Right. Yeah, so that's looking good so far anyway. So what I'm gonna do is, for me, I need to go and do other things. Also, I need to read up a few times and go over it. This is a problem with the Sega Saturn. I looked at the instructions and went, but then it all kind of made sense eventually by reading through. So my advice is read once, read twice, read again. Go and look at parts where it's saying it wants you to do. So just get an idea of what the whole idea of this mod is before you start soldering in place. That's not a problem. Taking the LED out of the front of the box, that's not a problem. Maybe even I can jump straight to doing this instead, because this will connect directly to that anyway. So it's, yes, so we won't actually need that. I'll just tidy up where the solder parts for that LED was anyway. But I've also put a piece of sellotape on here holding the power supply in place, just to get it out of the way a little bit. I might change that when I come back to this. But for me, I'm going to stop there. For you, this is just a quick pause, so don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. So, quick cut to when I carry on with this later on. Right, in true Retrotech Ralph fashion, here is the board, all ready to be soldered on. But we're not going to do that just yet. I just want a little bit more time to read up on this. So what I've done is jump forward to the installation of the LED. Now what you need to do, if you got one with the bezel on, pop it out, and where the two holes were on here, you need to make a perfect circle so the LED, without bending the pins is probably best, will just fit straight in, which it does there. Just to make it a little bit wider. The LED never ever sticks out of the other end anyway, so just a case of it just pops in kind of like that. Now what it states, if you haven't got the bezel, you got the fixed one, so it's just painted on the front, you just make a big hole, big circle to fit this in anyway. So mine is one of those that just goes that way. But what they've shown me on the pictures only is your LED. Hold it this way around. Make sure the longer of the outer ones are to the right hand side. That's as simple as it gets. So it's like that. The longer ones, the common ones in the middle, as always. Then you take your LED MD Model 1 LED 1.1. Peel off the pads. See, this is why they tell you not to solder in place straight away. Amazing, I've just lost one piece of paper there. Oh, it's on there. There it was so bad to see. Right, so I'm stuck with that there. One on the LED. Yes, yes, yes. Peel off the pads. And you go that way around. The reason you do this is because you don't know how long the LED is going to be, or pins. Now, I've already bent one of the pins out of shape. It doesn't matter, it's an LED. I'll try and get the middle one in. Now, the two sides should just drop in place. Alright, Ralph, you can do this. You're a professional, aren't you? There's two, there's three. Right, so push down the LED. Make sure that's... It doesn't matter if it's straight, it's your OCD that'll kick in if it's not straight. And push that onto there. It wasn't even in place for some reason. It's better. So that's in there anyway. Get a bit of push down to hold the pads in place for a few seconds. Done. Now that LED will, if you can look there, I can move the LED. So what I need to do is push up as high as I can, or push down on here as high as I can, and just solder in these three pins there. As simple as that. And that will be this part done. So let me just solder this in, and we'll be done on this part. Yeah, that's quite easy bit to do that, to be honest. It's just getting that hole big enough that you're not going to go over the top with the pins. So unsolder this, clip the extra off, and then we're done with the lid. Done and done. As easy as that. Snip off the ends, you're all done, and that's the LED in place with the cable ready to connect to the board when we've finished doing all of the mods. So we need to get the other one back in place now. This is a bit I'm not looking forward to. It looks a little bit daunting, but same as the Sega Saturn, once I got down to it, it was perfectly fine. So let's crack on with looking at see what we need to do for that. Okay, right, I think I'm ready. I've gone through the instructions enough on screen from Consoles Unleashed. The problem with it is, I'll get you in and I'll show you. Right where the chip is, I think there are too many connections than what we need. CD1, CD2, the DFO, the J1, what's that? No, that's IC1. The jumper one, I don't think we use them. I think we use the RB, RL for the reset, the C9, C6. That will be 4. He scrolls around for the controller port. Oh, right, video, LAN and ground and 5 volts we use as well for where the region mod is to the right hand side of the screen. And then the CPU we use for CPU halt. So that's all we actually use on this, which is quite strange, but maybe it's one thing that connects everything, which is quite nice really. Jumper 2 is already on, so let me show you now. Right, these 4 on here to start with. There we are. Right, it does state that on my model, which is a version 5, you've got, get you back in again. Right, jumper 1's not connected, 2 and 3 are. So I need to cut across here to make sure that these 2 and 3 are cut so they're not connecting. It does state something that on a version 1 it has, because this part here will be further over to the left hand side, more or less where we've put this anyway, but it does state that there's a capacitor on there that is removed, but that's for version 1. So my version 5, I need to start off by cutting these 2. I need a sharper knife than a pair of tweezers, but I'm just going through this before I actually start off on this. So once we've done that, we solder the LAN and the vid, which is on a different page. Right, so I'm still following on there. The LAN goes to jumper 2 there. The vid goes to jumper 3 there. Then you got your 5 volt, which is jumper 2 on this side, not connected, and ground is over here, which is fine. Okay, so that's those. It tells you to do the LAN ones, LAN and vid first before you do these. The reset button then, let me get you out so you can see where we are. Right, it is cut the reset button trace on the underside of the motherboard, red line, usage right. Okay, so what it actually wants me to do, while this is the top side up, is you got your reset button right there for switch 2. It wants the RB connecting to this point here. The RL, is it I5? Yeah, it wants this hole here and the bit of the masking scraped off so you get better solder connection. And that RL connecting to there from the extra board. The controller port, actually, while I'm doing this, on the opposite side, right, we have, turn you around, so this same, if you're following the pictures on their website and following it with me, right, because I'm at version 5, these is here. Right, so this is only just some crud on here that'll come off. I'll give this a clean afterwards. It wants this part here. RL, that's an alternative place where you can put the RL, which is on that side of there, and the RB can go there as well. But what it wants is from this contact here, this little trace here wants cut in. But that says it's been an active high reset for a version, an M5 version 5. But they also state something about, oh yes, that's fine. So I'll cut that there. Then controller port mod, which we have, let's go over here to mod the left hand side of the board, edge of it here. I'll just knock my screws off so that doesn't help me later. Here's the control ports here. That's that one, this is that one. I soldered a cable to C9 and C6. It doesn't state that I have to cut anything. Controller port pin 6 is A and B. Controller port pin 9 is C plus start. Okay, I guess a different signal for that, which is great. That's how we do that one. Looking down on it, it's the right hand one, so it's definitely player 2. Yeah, I've knocked my screws over. And finally, there's a CPU halt, which I don't know whether or not I want to do that or not, but it is doable without any major. Well, I don't. It actually states to do the CPU halt. Oh, when this is connected to the game, when it is connected, the game will pause when start A, B, and C is held long enough to start cycling through the console's regions. Only connect this if you want the game to pause when cycling through the regions. Now, I don't know whether I want to do that or not, but your main CPU is up here. Pin 17 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 17. Right there. So if I want to connect that, I will put that cable which goes from there all the way down to my board and the CPU. So it's not that difficult. There's only the DFO, is it DPO? I can't see that close enough. Neither can you. That is not used, and neither is CD1, CD2, so I guess there's something through the Mega CD anyway, or possibly other devices this would connect to instead of. So, with that is our plan. We need to start. So So we'll start at the beginning. It's complicated, but not too complicated. Once you read into it and know exactly what is where and how, it should be easy enough. So what my first job is going to be doing is tin all of these contacts apart from the CD1, CD2, and that. So these 4 on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the top one there. And you can't see it's too far away. Tin all those, make it easier, and start running cables 2 places, cutting jumpers and cutting other bits under here and wiring things through. I need to figure out where I can get with the C9 and the C6, whether or not I can get a cable either round there and underneath, or whether or not it'll work going underneath here. I mean, there's a potential I can put a cable through here and through, but I doubt it. I'll assume something big is there anyway, but I'll have to just double check that before I start soldering. Right, with that in mind, give me a bit of time and we'll get this finished and done. There we go, all soldered, all complete. Now I'll take off the stand there a bit better. Not too tricky. Once you go through the instructions quite a few times, it does come a little bit clear. So let me get you closer onto the board on this. Right. Okay, ignore the purple one over here. That just goes over as a patch to jumper, whichever over there anyway. So, start off with the 4 green ones. They all go off. Let's have a look on my diagram, can see it better on that one. Top to bottom on here, 5 volts, ground, LAN, vid. And it goes all the way over here. So you've got LAN and vid, these 2 here, top and bottom, 5 volts and ground, those 2 on the right. Coming back over, we've got the reset buttons over here. So R, L goes all the way underneath the chip and comes to this one here, where I've scraped off part of the mask, which is fine, just gets down to the copper a little bit and helps you out no end. And then the other one connects to here, RB. And finally, these 2. C6 is in blue, C9 is in yellow. Use your own colour scheme if you want. I've got loads of cable and bought a new pack the other day anyway. That goes under the board. I'm hoping this will work with having the cables there, but it might not as well. Comes out to C9 is on for this way around, where you can see the edge of the board on the right hand side is a left hand port. C9, actually I think I've got that the wrong way around. C6 is the right hand port. Oh, damn it. Hang on. I mean, look. Yes, right, hold on. C6 is this right hand one here, and I have soldered it to, is it the right hand side? Yeah, I'm right. Ooh, so C6 is the right, C9 is the left, which is my yellow one. So there you go, in here, around there. This could be changed anytime soon. So at the minute, it seems to be working underneath and through to those 2 parts there. And finally, we go for the CPU. Top corner on here goes all the way up, and we'll put it round to pin, is it 17? Yes, pin 17 of the CPU up here. Whether I use that or not is entirely up to me, but there we go. That is everything in. Then once this has been back into the box, I can take this tape off. So that was going to be in my way anyway. Once it's in the box, I can connect this back on for the LED light on the front, and then we can start testing. So what I need to do is pull this back together, see if she's working. If she's not, then I've got another problem. But hopefully, let's not. So we'll get it back in the box, in the casing, and let's get this one wrapped up. Right, Mega Drive is back together. Everything seems to be working fine. I've had, right, this has been from the last section of this video to now, has been a little while because I wasn't sure exactly what I'd done wrong. The instructions on the Consoles Unleashed website does show that does it state something about pressing start and 1, 2, 3 at the same time, and it will scroll through, it will pause, or in my mind it made it look like it would change the region code by pressing that, and it didn't work, and I wasn't really sure what I did. However, it's me being stupid, right? You press the reset button. We wire the reset button into the little board that we put in there, so that's what does everything anyway. And I'll show you now. Right, we'll turn her on. I'm not sure if you can see, but when I turn her on, this light will go green. It flashed and it's green. I don't know if you can see that. I'll get you zoom in later on. So that comes on, and that's working with the PAL system, which is the UK system, which is fine. Sonic will work fine at 50 Hz and 60 Hz. What have the UK run at? Which is... So I'm just going to pause it there. Now, what I need to do is press and hold the reset button, and it will go... I don't even know if you can see that or not. I'll hold that up there anyway. So we're looking there where my finger is, and I'm pressing the reset button. Hold. It's gone yellow. Well, orange. Which has got it into either the Japanese or the NTSC version. Press and hold again. Goes red. Let it go with the reset button. It's gone into the other mode, which is either again NTSC or Japanese, which means it plays quicker. However, my TV does not work for this, so it's a kind of a bad mod for me. Let's turn that volume off. It's a kind of bad mod for me because my television does not support NTSC format or the Japanese format. I'll press it again to get it back onto there, and it's back onto the UK version, which is all colour, all whatever, but it's slower, slightly slower. But I think I bought this thinking it would. You'd put a cartridge in and it would automatically switch, automatically detect if it's Japanese or an American or a European cartridge, and it doesn't. It's the switchless means you don't have a big hefty switch on the back to change it between the modes. And this is what I'm figuring out between this system, my television, or what I have round here, is it's not fully compatible with everything. It's a Soldering television, but it doesn't do NTSC format. There might be somewhere in the settings, I don't know, where it would actually do that setting which would make that play in colour, which it doesn't. It does play in certain colours, it just goes a little bit balmy. Plays quicker. But the mod is for the switchless, which hopefully, if I get an NTSC cartridge, would play at full speed. Which is great. I might be able to find them cheaper, I might not be able to find them cheaper. But that's the whole idea of the switchless mod, is it doesn't have a switch on it. So I was expecting automatic switching, but it doesn't do that. So if you can see there, hopefully, if you press and hold, red, green, yellow, red, green, yellow. The green is my format. Missed it. There you go. Just let go when you come around to the right part. So it's working perfectly fine. So I'm really happy with this. And it will play extra stuff when I need it. I was hoping, like I said, I was hoping for colour and the faster speed. I've got a second television there which it might work on. But if not, it's not the end of the world. I don't really care. To be honest, it might actually work better if I had a better cable on the end of here. Because we've only got the red, white and yellow cables. If I had a full SCART, it might actually work. So possible upgrades on the cable there. So we will be working on that. Oh, but I'll be buying another cable. There is a problem with that. It was a very, very cheap cable. So it's kind of, that's why it's flickering now and then gone off, because the cable at the back is starting to crack because it's been stretched. bad strain relief. If you buy a cheap cable for your audio and your video, expect it to break. So yeah, I've got other cables around I could probably use, but I will order a new cable for myself anyway. But that's fine, that's a switchless mod done. It's difficult, but not impossible, but don't expect it to be automatic. It's not. But I'm glad because I haven't got to cut into the case, and I'm trying to justify not cutting into the case by having an easy switch, which I didn't want. So with that in case, for that in matter, let's finish this video off now anyway. So, ta-da! Here's the board. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and follow me on social media. Just Google Retrotech Ralph. And if you want to be a patron, if you want to help out the channel, that's fine. There's links in the description. There's links on the channel if you want to donate a product. If anything you want to just give to the channel to help out a little bit. I don't care what it is. If it's parts for something else, then fine. If it's perfectly working, that's even great. I'll do a review on it. That's not a problem. But if you want to help out the channel, fine. If you're not, then it's fine. Just catch me in another video, and I'll see you later. Bye for now. And if you couldn't see it in the video, there she is, party time for the Sega Mega Drive.